as we prepare for the simulation, let's actually deal with that outside collision stuff now. Let's go find up here. Let's go back to this split, the one before the initial cut. So when we had sent this central area here to the left side, this right side is that outside area. Oh, get out of here. So we'll grab that, come down here, and we'll say something like null, put it there. We'll say outside. And we do the same thing here where we alt click this, move it out of the way, maybe even actually have it on the inside here. And we can put this, we'll do this over here. Cool. Just so I don't like having them crossing. I don't know. It seems nicer this way. We don't need to do much here. As we know, Bullet is super into convex hulls. And of course, if we try to make a convex hull, it's going to include this big gap area. Like one big convex hull here would be terrible. Same thing. Bullet can deal with interpenetrating convex hulls, but the way it does it is, if pieces are completely inside somebody else's convex hull, they're just not going to collide with it. And that doesn't do us any good, because those are exactly the pieces that we want to collide with this thing, or the ones that are close to it. We could do concave, but concave is super heavy and it doesn't work very well. It's, especially because this is going to be moving and stuff like that. Concave should be avoided if at all possible, especially because we do have a very good solution right here, which is going to be, let's just split this up with our old friend Voronoi fracture. Voronoi fracture, of course, makes concave pieces, or convex pieces. So let's just concentrate, let's turn this into a bunch of convex pieces with an eye towards having them mostly clustered around here on at the edge. So all we really need to do is scatter a whole bunch of points on it. You know, the normal Voronoi workflow. We don't need all these pieces back here. We can limit it to just the B inside A, the new surface. So let's scatter maybe 200 points. It's like that. And we'll use that to base our Voronoi off of. So there we go, there we go. And this will actually take a moment because of how high resolution that geometry was. We could have used like a poly reduce on it in order to make it less complex, but this will only needs to be calculated one time, and it's only going to take like 30 seconds. So let's just give it a minute. So that's all done. If we want to see it, we can go to visualize pieces, and yeah, this is what we want more or less. So now each of these smaller areas will get its own convex hull. So we'll largely still get the what we want out of this. We could do it smarter, probably, where we could cluster more points at sharp areas. You could calculate curvature and such. I don't think we'll need to do that, but you could do that to get it even more accurate. This is enough for now. So I'm just going to say that took a minute to do. So I'm going to pop back over into manual mode, grab this file cache here, move it over here. Let's just save that so we don't have to wait another minute the next time we load Houdini. File cache outside, or we'll say file cache initial outside. Everything else basically going to be the same about it. Save the disk. Come back here and reload it just to make sure we got it. Nope, we'll want to assemble that. So I'll just do this again. We'll say, let's just call it outside in case we need to refer to it at some point. So we've got, oops, there we go. Now it's actually connected. We ended up with around 200 pieces, which is what we would expect for scattering 200 points. So good. So now when this makes its way into the simulation, it'll be 200 fairly easy to digest convex pieces, as opposed to two very complicated concave pieces, which will actually be slower and worse in every way. So now we can merge these guys all the way in. Now they didn't need to have a start frame calculated because they're never going to go. And in fact, now that they've been joined in, they're going to have a can activate equal to 0, because the can activate was set here to be 1, and it will by default be set to 0. Also, their start frames will be 0 and all that jazz. So now we have all of our pieces together, like that.